Welcome to the Diva Details. Welcome to the Diva Details, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia and Diva Cat.
Well, hello, this is Diva Mia, and today we're going to kind of talk a little bit about finding your purpose after you go through a shift. And the shift can be many things. It can be a shift because you got divorced. It can be a shift because you had a death of a spouse, or even your children went away to college and you're now an empty nester. Sometimes the shift happens when you lose your job, or you change careers, or maybe you're just getting ready to retire. Shifts can happen, but when that happens, one of the things that keeps us going is a purpose. And humans truly do need a purpose. Whether you're a man or a woman, I think without a purpose, you may feel lost, or you don't really have a lot of feeling that your life has meaning. So making sure that you have a purpose is important. Sometimes we may feel like, especially after a divorce, that we're broken and that we're lost, or maybe you change jobs and you're completely lost and you don't know what to do. It's really important at this point to realize you're not broken. You're becoming exactly who you want to be, but you've got to look for the signs. I recommend at this stage you just start writing everything down. Start figuring out what aligns with you. When you align with what your purpose is, it'll feel natural. It will feel like you have everything going for you, and it'll feel easy. I'm not saying that finding your purpose, the work that has to happen, is easy, but it's going to feel easier. And it shouldn't feel like a struggle, because you know you're on the right path when it's easier. So personally, I've gone through many shifts in my life, and I've had to rediscover myself a few times. One of the things I do is whenever I feel lost or feel like I've lost my purpose, is I embrace change. Change is so important, because when you're finding a new purpose in life, it's going to be different than your old purpose, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And sometimes it's going to make you scared, give you a little bit of anxiety, and you may even struggle with it a little bit. Finding the purpose is such an important part. And I think sometimes we beat ourselves up when we don't exactly know what our purpose is, and we struggle for too long, or maybe we're just close and we can almost taste it. We're almost right there where our purpose is, but we haven't really figured out the details yet. That's kind of the time to just sit back and observe, and maybe to journal as to what is making you happy. I really do feel like your purpose in life should make you happy. Life is a magical thing, but it's also very short. And when you spend it doing things you don't enjoy, you won't have a purpose. And when you don't have a purpose, you're not very happy in life. We've lived roles as wives, as mothers. So when you get divorced or your children go off to school, you have to change and shift. And you have to say, who am I now? And what is my purpose, and what am I working for? This happens a lot when children go away and you become an empty nester. Your purpose up until then, maybe you were a stay-at-home mom, or you were working but still taking on a big chunk of the mom roles, and now your kids are gone. And it's going to be quiet at home. It happens too when you get divorced or you lose a spouse. Widowhood is tough, and the quiet is kind of where you actually need to be. Now, I'm a big fan of playing loud music and dancing around in my house by myself, but sometimes just listening to the silence and meditating and being still is exactly what you need to find your purpose. And purpose changes. I think sometimes we believe that our purpose is singular, that we only have one purpose, and once it's gone, oh my gosh, what do we do now? But purpose evolves with different seasons of life. It may be that your purpose was taking care of the kids, and now your purpose is you want to start a business. It's never too late. And then maybe your purpose is you want to travel for a while or take care of your health. You just need to find out what your current purpose is, and it doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It can just be something that you want to evolve into. Maybe your purpose is to write children's books. Maybe your purpose is to start a new company that you can pass on to your children. Whatever your purpose is going to be, you get to decide. And I know sometimes your identity may feel like it got shattered by having all these changes occur in your life, but it does really create room for you to be authentically you. You get to rebuild exactly who you are. I have gone through a divorce myself, and I will say coming out of the divorce, I was a little broken. But over time, even 6 months out, I felt like I had a new purpose. The biggest thing is I lost my purpose because I think us women, a lot of times we wrap our purpose up in our husbands. And don't get me wrong, men wrap their purpose up in their wives as well. But I think we tend to want to take care of everyone. And when that happens and that purpose is no longer there, you might feel lost. And maybe it's a good time to be lost and just shift into something that makes you happier. There's no big or public serving purpose that you have to do. This is completely personal. You don't have to donate to charities. You don't have to be Mother Teresa. You don't have to start a huge company. It could be something as small as starting a neighborhood group. It could be something as small as starting a mom and pop shop for a business. Whatever works for you is right, and you'll know because it flows. It's not lost, okay? So when you lose your purpose, it's not really lost. It's just kind of redirected. You're going to reintroduce yourself to you and to what you want. And maybe it's just a different stage in your life, and you get to find a new purpose. So the first things I wanted to talk about, though, is work. Work, it's not just income. So a lot of times when we go through a divorce or, our kids are off to school or we change careers, we are looking into a new purpose. And work's not just an income. We identify who we are from our work. If you've ever gone to a party and you say, what do you do? That's one of the first questions people ask because that's part of your identity. Oh, I'm an attorney. Oh, I'm a computer scientist. Oh, I'm an engineer. Oh, whatever it is, that's part of your identity. When you shift to something else can be very scary. Now, I've known people that have been in a field for 20, 30 years, and they're miserable. They hate it. They've been doing the same job. Trying to get them to move to a new career, to find a new purpose is very difficult because most people don't want to change that much, even though they're miserable. So sometimes it's a blessing when bad things happen, like they lose a job, because then they get a shift into something they really enjoy, something that fulfills them, something that makes them happy. You may have new career dreams in this new field. You may have the ability to start a new business. It's up to you, whatever you want to do, but you need to make sure you define it for you. And I think as women, sometimes we allow other people too much to define how we're going to behave and what purpose we're going to have. So a lot of people will pivot careers and change careers post-divorce. It just happens. And sometimes when we change careers, we hold on to the old one a little bit too long. We think we need to stay in the old one because it's producing income, but sometimes if you let it go, you can jump into the new one faster and get that up and running as well. Entrepreneurship, I love. I have been an entrepreneur since 1999, so I've been consulting and working on my own since then. And I'm a big fan of building businesses. So if you can build your own business and do something that contributes to humanity, I love that because then you're actually serving not just yourself, you're also serving other people. You could also go into consulting or mentorship. A lot of women have a lot of experience when they come out of divorce. So some of them write books. Some of them volunteer and help other women that have gone through trauma in their marriages or abuse. Sometimes you'll volunteer for the less fortunate, or maybe even go back to school. And it doesn't really matter what age you are. People have graduated school in their 80s and 90s. So if you want to go back to school to get a degree in something, think about it. We may live to 100 plus. We very well may, and we may be able to keep our wits about us till 100, 125 years old. Things are changing in modern medicine with the advances of AI are going to really advance what we can do on an individual basis. And that's probably a good thing since, the birth rate is decreasing at such a dramatic rate. So we are going to live longer. We're going to be able to do more. So if you think that you're 50 years old and it's too late, you're just getting started. I met a woman that was 69 or 73, and at 69, she started bodybuilding. So she didn't start bodybuilding until 69, and now she's 73. And she created a new purpose for herself. And now she's also a social media influencer. She makes money on products. She travels around. She goes on cruises. She has a wonderful life, and she's very happy. You can just tell by talking to her. She's very happy. So find your purpose. It doesn't matter what age you're at. You could start a new business at 70. You could go into a new field at 70. It doesn't matter. Just imagine yourself living to 125 and having all your wits about you. What would you want to do if you're 50 years old, what are you going to want to do for the next 75 years? And that's the other thing. I know a lot of people find their purpose in partners. Well, after you come out of divorce or death of a spouse, when you go into another relationship, don't settle, ladies. Don't go with someone that doesn't complete you. And when I say settle, make sure that most, if not all of your boxes are checked, just because you might end up spending 50 to 75 years with your next one. So make sure they're a great partner. And that's a great partner for you. And most of you have children that have gone off to school or will be going off to school. So it's so important to make sure that partner matches you, not matching your children. Once your kids go off to school, your parenting doesn't actually end. And I think a lot of people, they freak out. Oh, they cry. They're like, my parenting is over. My children are gone. But actually it transforms. And remember, you may have grandchildren in 5 to 10 years. So it's just a little bit different. You're going to be more of a guide instead of a day-to-day task manager, guiding and consulting whenever they need you. You're not going to be functioning day-to-day in their lives, but you're still going to be needed. And it will evolve eventually into grandmotherhood, or you could even foster if you wanted to. But it's up to you. But you might be a caregiver in different ways in the future. So just remember that just because they're gone doesn't mean they're forever gone. They're just temporarily out of your life, but you're still needed. And then make sure to align yourself. So I really enjoy journaling. I think journaling is so amazing when you're going through a transition. If you can write down your daily issues, if you can put them on paper, even if you don't go back and read them. I used to think I had to go back and read my journals in order to, make them legitimate, but you don't. What happens when you write things down in paper, you get it out of your mind. And your mind releases that anxiety and stress around what you're got bouncing around in your head. And the other thing that happens is that when you write it down, it kind of feels like it has less power over you and you have more control over it. And you can kind of brainstorm when you write it down. So journaling is just one of the most important things you can do anytime you're transitioning. And if you make the habit of journaling for the rest of your life, it might even help you just grow as a person on a day-to-day basis. The other thing I like to do is get still and meditate in a quiet location. And if you can make a little Zen garden or a little area that's peaceful, you can have the birds chirping, maybe some water flowing, and just mellow out and relax and feel. You can do it inside, you can do it outside, and just feel how still and how quiet and how wonderful that is. What you'll find is that when you do this, life will be so much calmer. You'll feel like you're more in control. And meditation is just really good for the brain. It will make you feel like you are on the right path, and it may actually point you to the right path. So I highly recommend journaling and meditation. Then try to work through your healing. Okay. So, yes, you need to find a new purpose, but sometimes you need to heal old wounds in order to find that new purpose. You may have past traumas or shame or guilt from, things that happened in the past. You got to heal that. And once you heal it, it may allow you to more clearly focus on your purpose. Because until you heal that stuff, a lot of times you'll be stuck in the past. And your focus will be going towards the past. It won't be going towards the present and what you want to move on to. Then ask yourself a few questions like, what makes you happy? What really, really makes you happy? What lights you up? What do you enjoy most? And then you can always say, what do others expect of me? But what do I expect most of myself? And what do I want for myself? And if I were to look back, let's say 20 years from now, and I was no longer on this planet, and I'm looking down from heaven because I'm going to heaven. And I look down and I say, wow, that girl at 52 years old really transitioned into her purpose and made something of herself. Or maybe I'm 150 because I'm planning on living to 150. So at 150, I'm looking back and say, wow, what an amazing life. At 150, I look down from heaven and I say, wow, I really did embrace my purpose. What would it be? And that's for you to answer. So you get to answer exactly what brings you joy, what makes you happy, what's creative for you, and there's no obligation to serve anyone else but yourself. And that's one of the best things that happens kind of when we hit rock bottom in a transitionary time frame, because a lot of times transitions happen and we feel like we're hitting rock bottom. You get to only look up from there. So find something that you're going to really aspire to that lights you up. If it lights you up, you know you're on the right side. And you don't have to do it all at once. That's one of the big things that people don't realize. When you are transitioning, you need to start small. Take a class, make a friend, go do something different. Do something that's out of your comfort zone, but you don't have to do a ton of it. You just have to start moving one step in front of the other and get out there. That's how you succeed, is you succeed by getting out there. You succeed by making the decision to move one foot in front of the other and take action. Don't just, create a vision board. You can create a vision board though. That will help, but don't create a vision board and never take action on the things you want. You should have career goals if you're doing a vision board. You should have family intentions, health, what makes you happy, things you want to buy. All those things go on your vision board. And maybe it's a new relationship in the future. Well, maybe put something on there of kind of what you're looking for. But that vision board, you should be reading every single day, as well as writing down what you want, as if it's in the present tense. If you read The Law of Attraction or The Secret, the idea of writing down what you want in the present tense and then visualizing it, that helps as well. Because then your mind is getting comfortable with that future vision of you, and you'll evolve into it. And I think one of the things I really like is shifting your paradigm. So you can't shift your paradigm unless you make drastic changes in a direction. And in order to do so, you have to make small steps first. You make the small steps and they turn into major steps over a long period of time. And it's like a daily habits. They all shift. All your habits will shift as you start making small steps. It's a new rhythm in your life, basically. Every day you'll wake up, you'll do like 5 things you didn't do the day before. And then the next day you'll do those 5 things and maybe you add one more. Or maybe you add one more every week or one more once a month. It depends on what it is. But you keep moving in the right direction. You're not starting over. When you're looking for your purpose, you are just connecting with your soul and finding exactly what you need and exactly what you're desiring. It's kind of like a rite of passage. Anybody that's ever succeeded in life they realize they got to go through some of the pain in order to find the true pleasure that they want in life. And nobody really gets anywhere without going through the toughness of it. And it is tough. Change is tough. Doing new things is so tough. But when you get there, you'll be so happy. And the journey, you're going to look back and enjoy the journey. That's the best part. Because the journey, you got to enjoy it along the way. And make sure you also surround yourself during this time frame with really good people. I have an energy healer that keeps telling me that when you're going through a tough transitionary time frame, you should only have 3 to 5 people in your cocoon. Think of yourself as like a chrysalis, a butterfly that's, it's a caterpillar that formed the chrysalis. And now when it's in that stage, because it's a transitory stage, you're fragile. You don't want people that are going to hammer on you when you're fragile. You want people that are going to support you, that are going to help you, and that will encourage you, not somebody that's going to come and start banging on your chrysalis, if you will. So you're going to evolve into a beautiful butterfly, but you're going to have to go through some transitions. And in order to do so, you want people that will leave you alone when you need it, but be there to support you when you don't. They'll be there to help you along the way. So just remember that. That is one of the best things that happens when you have friends. And you're going to find friends that maybe they were great during the good times, but they're terrible when you're down and out. And maybe it's time to walk away from some of them. It may be time to get a whole new friends group when you're leveling up, because this is a level up, finding your purpose. You're going to level up into a new area. So maybe it's time to finally look and find new friends. And those friends may be in the same circle, they may not be. And it's okay. But surrounding yourself with the right friends is so very important. Your purpose, you will find, is core, just like it is to your identity. And once you find your true purpose, you'll have joy every day. You'll wake up. Heck, sometimes you may not even go to sleep because you have so much joy. And no one should lead you astray. And your purpose doesn't have to pay you a lot of money. It could pay you nothing as long as you're happy. And as long as you have the ability to support yourself, obviously. But your purpose should be there to light your fire every single day and to bring you tons of joy. The more purpose you have, the more joy you have, the better your life is going to be. And the happier your life is going to be. There's no reason to go through life suffering for someone else that doesn't enjoy or appreciate you. Go find your purpose and own it. And then once you own your purpose, you are more self-assured in life, and you tend to be happier in life too. I think you will find long-term, finding your purpose is the most important thing you do in a transitionary time frame. And then you can build upon your purpose and set goals and action steps, etc., and expand upon your purpose. So I hope this session was beneficial to you today. I hope that you got something out of it. I wish you all the best in your journey and your transition, and that you will find new things to give you purpose and happiness and joy every single day. This is Diva Mia, signing off. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'd love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professionals. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. The Diva Details and its affiliate contributor and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from the use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partner. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.